Thank you so much for joining us today. This is, one of our weekly scheduled webinars for Supearior, just going over the ATSK and all of its features. These are also recorded and will be posted online later. So if you would like a link to that, please feel free to email us at info@shopsupearior.com, and we will be happy to provide that to you. Just going in a little bit about our company. Supearior is the brainchild of Strand Industries, which is actually best known for the ultra popular hearing protection brand. With nearly 5 years of operation and hundreds of thousands of earplugs sold, we actually launched Supearior in 2019 as a way to extend our hearing protection brand to a brand new audience. And then, as you know, with the sudden onset of COVID-19, we quickly shifted our focus, and that is where the Supearior automated temperature screening kiosk came to life. We have an amazing team of sales agents who will help you with any pricing questions that you may have. We have a fantastic team of technical support agents and customer support agents, along with in-house developers. We work with our manufacturer very closely. So, we're very hands-on here. So anything that comes our way or any questions you may have, we are there to answer those questions. So a little bit about what you're here for, the automated temperature screening kiosk. This kiosk can quickly and efficiently screen all incoming guests and employees for a fever to potentially help spread prevent the spread of viruses. And this will definitely eliminate labor costs for your business, as you no longer need to have an employee sitting there and taking temperatures one by one, which could potentially also be inaccurate and not safe for your employees, as they need to be present to take those temperatures. And being in close contact is not something that is advisable in this current pandemic. Some other great features actually about the ATSK is that it can not only can it prevent anyone with a fever from entering a facility, it can also prevent those without face masks from entering a facility. This is a premium feature that is offered with the ATSK, and I will also provide a live preview of this shortly. We also have facial recognition of employees. You can use the face database that is included with the software on the kiosk to create a directory of all of your employees, so that anyone who comes in and is a verified member of your business will be recognized. And then we also offer reporting on all of the points above that I just mentioned. This can be exported directly from the kiosk. This is also offered as a plus of the cloud subscription service that we have, as you can then remotely export all data and also be emailed reports on attendance and anyone who enters with an abnormal body temperature to an email of your choice. Some general hardware specs. This is available on the product page, so I won't go over every single point here. But some features that are worth mentioning are the WiGAN input and output cables. This directly relates to the WiGAN security protocol. So if you have a compatible system, or if you have a technician on board that can help you get set up with connecting your kiosk to your door system to prevent and permit entry of employees or anyone you wish to give or grant access to. There's also a IR camera and an 8.0-inch IPS LCD screen, very high quality. We'll go into the actual screen resolution as well, which is directly available on the kiosk. We also have a couple different models available, which I will get into shortly. For the software specs, currently we do not support touchscreen. However, all models are, we offer a complimentary keyboard and mouse with every order, so you won't have to worry about purchasing that. Facial recognition, face mask recognition, which, as I mentioned, is a premium feature. You will have to add that onto your purchase if interested. The storage of up to 30,000 faces, and this will increase if you purchase the cloud subscription service, as your data will be on our cloud. We use AWS as our cloud host, incredibly secure and very stable. There's also device management on this software, so you can quickly see what devices you have available to you on the cloud subscription service again. And then internally on the kiosk itself, there's personnel and photo management. This is available via the face database records, which I will show momentarily, and then record queries, which you can export all data onto a USB flash drive. The kiosk comes with USB ports, and you can make use of a USB splitter to connect multiple drives or dongles for your keyboard and mouse set. And then, of course, there's the abnormal temperature alarm, which is one of the key features of the kiosk. And then just moving forward into the infrared thermal imaging module specs, the device itself has a temperature accuracy, and this is within FDA guidelines. It has a temperature accuracy variance of 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit and a minimum and maximum range of 50 degrees Fahrenheit to 107 degrees Fahrenheit, along with a pretty large thermal field of view. And here are some of our awesome models. We have the wall mount here, which can be directly attached to a wall. Kind of works like a TV setup where you have a hole in the wall, you put the cables through, and then connect it to a power source on the other side. We also have a table stand and floor stand model. These two models are actually compatible with each other, and we do offer the stands separately. So if you purchase the table stand and at a later point in time you wish to switch to the floor stand, you are more welcome to do so. And we have the product available separately on our website. And then, as mentioned before, we have the premium option, which is face mask recognition. With this option, this comes on the software that we send out. You can actually select whether or not you want people that come in to be sent a warning if they're not wearing a mask, and they will not be permitted to enter the building. It will show a warning on the screen for the end user, and it will also send a real-time notification to the console that's related to the cloud subscription service. It'll show that the person is not wearing a mask. That's why they were not permitted to enter. And then once they put their mask on, they can have their temperature taken. And then dependent on if you have it set up such that only employees are allowed to enter, at that point, the system will go through that protocol and then deny or permit entry based on those settings. So the Supearior ATSK actually comes pre-installed with a custom-built software solution. We have in-house developers that are constantly working on new patches and updates to make sure that it's running to the best of its ability, and any new features we can put out, we provide to users, which they can then update the software via a USB flash drive. Updates of the cloud are done automatically and do not require any action from the end user side. Features that you can edit directly via the kiosk are as follows. The compensation value, this relates to if you are in a very hot area. For example, our company is based in Los Angeles, California. We've been experiencing some insane temperatures here, so we will definitely need to make use of the compensation value here. You can offset temperatures this way. So if you find that people who are coming into your place of business are showing a higher temperature than they actually are, you can go ahead and offset this with the compensation value setting. The same goes for if you're in a very cold area, and you can offset the temperature that way if their temperature is showing too low. The detection of strangers, the detection of employees, there's a face database, so you can go through and see a directory of everyone who is in your system. face data entry. So they step in front of the kiosk, have their picture taken, and then bam, they're in the face database. And then we also have the customization of the company name, alarm sound. So if you don't want an alarm sound to go off, you can definitely edit that via the kiosk directly. And then there's also voice prompts. You can turn those on or off. That directly just relates to the kiosk itself actually sending out a verbal warning saying that someone has a high temperature, but that is also customizable. So now I will move to the live preview section of this webinar. So if I could just quickly switch over, I appreciate your patience. So I have now pulled up the actual kiosk itself. This is a device that we use for testing purposes. As you can see, the name, the company name has been edited. You can see the number of photos down here and the number of employees currently in the device right here. It'll also show the MAC address of the device, which you will be able to use as a reference point to see what device is on your cloud server. And then the IP address, this is just the IP address of the internet you're connected to, so you can make sure it's actually connected to Wi-Fi. I'm going to press the middle mouse button to go into the menu. This password is customizable, but the default password on all devices we send out is 123456. I'm going to go ahead and press OK, and we're brought this menu right here. So this is the Smart Traffic Management Platform. It is the software that is pre-installed on all of our kiosks, and there's nothing you need to do. Once you receive the kiosk, it's actually automatically booted up. This is the first thing that you'll see. I'm going to go ahead now and just go over some of these menu options right here. So the first thing that we have is the name of the device. I named it test device. You can name it whatever you'd like, depending on your personal preference. We have the IP address, as I mentioned previously, and then we also have a section here which just says whether or not it's connected to the server. So if the kiosk was connected to the server, it would actually show the server address and along with the login status. So currently the login status is none because I am not connected to the server. And then the way to access the server to connect would be through login management. I'm just going to pull that menu back up again so we can go over the rest of the menu options on the Supearior ATSK. So the next thing to go over is application settings. So the first thing we have here is the name setting. You can change the name of the device and the company name from this page. And then next we have body temperature setting. So this is where you can change all of the settings for how to detect the body temperature, along with some of the more intensive settings, I suppose, like mass detection, stranger mode, and stranger report. To get this setting, as I mentioned, this is a premium option. You can add on to your purchase when you're checking out, but this is where it will pop up for mass detection. So just going from top to bottom here, we have the body temperature test. You can use this device as an attendance management system purely, so you can actually turn this off. However, most of our users do like the fact that you can take temperatures with this device, so most of them keep that on. To access the more customizable settings for attendance management, that is available with our cloud server. And with the cloud server, you can actually set up shift schedules and employee shift schedules. So if you have different schedules for each employee, you can set it up so that each of your employees have a different schedule. This is where you can change the compensation temperature. You can either have it so that it changes it automatically, or you can set it up manually. There's also scene selection. So if you have your kiosk outdoors, you can go ahead and do that. We personally recommend that the kiosk is kept indoors. As for temperature taking purposes, we recommend that each person who comes through who has their temperature taken has a cool down period about 15 to 20 seconds, so that if there's any outside temperature that's affecting them, if the outside environment is affecting them, they can have a chance to cool down for a bit before having their temperature taken. Here we have the temperature mode. This is available with our latest version of the software. There's preliminary screening and fine sieve. So if you have a lot of people that are coming in, we typically recommend the preliminary screening, as that will quickly take the temperatures and let the next person come through to have their picture taken or to just move through the device. Otherwise, you can set it up to fine sieve, which will take a little bit longer. Then we have the alarm threshold. This is only applicable to the end user. So if you would like the person who comes through the device to be shown a warning for a customizable range of value, you can go ahead and change that here. So if you'd like to have someone be shown that they have a temperature at 36 degrees, you can go ahead and do that. We recommend setting this up if outside temperatures are too hot on a consistent basis. But otherwise, we always suggest the compensation temperature value first. Then we also have the body temperature alarm, which, as I mentioned, you can turn off these alarms. We currently have it off. This directly relates to when someone walks through, if you want that sound alarm to go off. If not, they will still be shown an on-screen warning. Then we have the temperature display, if you would like to be shown the temperature in Fahrenheit or centigrade. This also will change the settings for the alarm threshold and the compensation temperature value. Currently, these are both in centigrade. Then we have the fan. The fan actually relates directly to the kiosk. We always recommend having this on for the health of the kiosk if you're going to keep it on for more than a couple hours a day, just so that the device does not overheat. Next, we have the mask detection. This is the premium option that I mentioned before. This will show a warning to users and will reflect on the cloud subscription service if someone is not wearing a mask and is trying to come through your place of business. Next, we have stranger mode and stranger record. If you would not like to record strangers that are coming through your place of business, you can go ahead and turn that off. And then stranger mode is whether or not you would like to permit strangers to enter your place of business. So if this is an employee only, you can make sure to have all of your employees in the face database, and then anyone who doesn't match that picture or who isn't already in the database will not be granted entry. So those are all the body temperature settings. Next, we have the identification parameter settings. If you have a lot of employees, we always recommend setting this to 10. Otherwise, the default value is 17. This test threshold means that whether or not it should be using the maximum capacity of memory to take very high quality pictures of your employees, so that, let's say, two of your employees maybe look a little similar, it will be able to differentiate them very clearly. Otherwise, if you have a small team, we recommend keeping this at the default value. Identification times simply means how many times it should be taking a picture to identify someone. The default value is 3. And next we have living body. This, we always recommend to keep this on. That is the default value that is set on. However, if you would like to not use the body temperature settings, you can turn this to off and have employees be recognized via an ID card that they can then hold up to the camera. Next, we have volume setting. That's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. it is the volume setting on the device. If you find that it's too loud or it's bothering your guests, you can go ahead and either mute the device entirely or just lower or increase the volume depending on what you would like. We also have startup settings here. So the device itself is actually a highly modified Android tablet. So you can actually go into the back end. There's a browser. It works just like a regular tablet. It's just that it has a different motherboard. It has a temperature camera attached to it. So it's different in that way. But if you would like to use the Android tablet for installing some of our update files or whatnot, you can turn off the auto start settings here while you're working on that so that the device doesn't automatically boot up. To do that, you can just set all of these options to off, go ahead and change the things that you want to change, and then reboot the application and turn it back to on so that the system automatically opens this application upon booting up. Next, we have the application information settings. There is that bar at the bottom of the device where it just says the device name. It has a little loading icon. You can go ahead and hide that if you would like. Again, completely depends on your personal preferences. We like to offer our customers as much customizability as they can so that they can decide what they want to see versus what they don't want to see. Next, we have the recognition effect display. When someone comes through and they're recognized, it can show their picture, or you can have it so that it just shows their name. There's also recognition failure, so you can have it so that it turns on a red light, etc. Next, we have the password settings. So if you would like to change the default password from 123456, you can do so here. If you are locked out of the device, you will have to reset it. So please make sure to keep a pen and paper handy, or take note of this password. We will always be happy to assist for reset instructions, but it's not ideal. This is for security purposes. We don't have access to your password. As you are the admin, once we hand the kiosk over to you, you have full control. A cool thing about the cloud subscription service is if you do forget the password here, as long as you have access to your cloud subscription service, which we provide you with a username and password, which you can change at any time you like, you can log into your cloud and change the password remotely. Next are the camera resolution preview settings. So as I mentioned earlier in this webinar, you can actually change the resolution of the pictures that are taken. By default, it's set at the highest value. The system can save up to 30,000 faces with this value, so you're good to go. However, if you find that you don't really want those high quality pictures, you're more than welcome to change it to a lower resolution. Next, we have the lock screen brightness settings. Again, pretty straightforward. There's a lock screen that pops up when the device has been not in use for more than 45 seconds. So you can go ahead and change the brightness of that lock screen if you would like to do so. Next, we have the restart time setting. This is for the health of the device. It automatically restarts itself at 3 a.m. Again, more than welcome to edit this. And you can also select do not restart if you don't want it to restart. If you have a very busy office and you have people coming in and out at different times of the day, you can go ahead and select do not restart. But it's auto set at 3 a.m. So most people shouldn't have an issue with this. This does not restart or reset any data that is currently on the device. So you will be good to go there. And next we have the relay settings. So there is a WiGRAN protocol on the device itself. So there's cables that are included. You can connect this to your pre-existing door security system. And this is kind of where your technician will need to go to set that up. There's a delay for when the doors will open or close dependent on the command that's set. So if someone is permitted entry or denied entry. So this is where you can kind of have your technician customize this and select the different relay modes. And lastly, there's the Others button. So this is where you can connect your USB drive and then click Update Temperature Hardware if there is an update that we can provide to you. We typically send out an email with the latest version of the software if available. And these last two settings are actually internally for us. If there's an issue with the server or something that we need to look into, this is kind of where we can ask you for more information or to input something to ensure that your cloud server is up and running. And then lastly, if for any reason you need to restart your application, you can do so here. Please do note this will delete all user data on the device, and it'll give you a warning. So you won't have to worry about accidentally clicking this. It's red, and you can clearly differentiate it from the other buttons, but this will erase all data on the device. So if you would like to do so, you're more than welcome to. And now I'm just going to go a little bit further into the actual face data entry. So we can click right here, and I have a sticker currently on the camera, which is why it's showing up like this. But in normal situations, you'd be able to see the person standing in front of it. You would put in your employee's ID, or they can do so. And then they can put their name, their gender, and then once they click collection, it will take their picture. You click save, and that's it. You're good to go. And then you'll be able to see that employee's information by going into the face database. And here you can see the name of the employee, what type they are. And by type, it means if it's an employee or a visitor, you can also set up temporary access for visitors. So if you would only like someone to have access for, let's say, a week, you can set that up. And then it will show the expiration date and then the actual picture that they had taken on the previous page. You can also access that previous menu by clicking Enter Face Information, and you can do so here. And last but not least, there's Pass Record. Here's where you'll be able to export anyone and everyone who has entered into your place of business. So if you want to see who was scanned in at a certain time, if they were an employee, a visitor, or a stranger, you can insert a USB flash drive. Any USB flash drive will work. And then you can click Export, and it will export all the data in the form of an XLS sheet. This XLS sheet will include the name of the device, the time that they entered versus the time that they left, the picture. Let's see what else. It will also include the MAC address of the device. And if you have anything else set up here, it will also show that up. This page can also be accessed via the cloud subscription service. So to be quite honest, it really streamlines this process. So instead of having to go to that specific device and then click export onto a USB flash drive, you can simply go onto your cloud and go into Pass Records and export it from the comfort of your own office. So it'll make things way easier. So that concludes the live preview of the device. I'm just going to go ahead and provide you with some last minute tidbits about the cloud. And if there are any questions, I will be taking them at the end. So just give me one moment, please, while I close this live preview. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So now I'm just going to go a bit and discuss our cloud subscription service a bit more. It's one of the coolest new features that we have available to customers. A lot of our customers choose to opt in for this service. It's $49 a month per device. And we also have an annual subscription, which has a 10% discount. So with the cloud subscription service, you get email notifications, and you can access all data remotely from your Supearior automated temperature screening kiosk. You can also opt in for instant email notifications. So if anyone tries to enter with an abnormal temperature, you will get an email. It would also have the name of the device, a picture of the person who had the abnormal temperature, along with the time that they tried to enter. You will also have the ability to review and export from your computer all the temperature records. This will also be in the form of an XLS sheet, or you can simply just view them if you don't want to export the data. You can just view it remotely via the appropriate tab on the console. You can also remotely adjust all settings. So the compensation value that I mentioned, or setting up the name of the company, changing the password, turning the device on or off, editing employee data. You can do that all via the comfort of your own office from the cloud subscription service. You can also bulk export employees. So if you'd like a list of your employees, you can bulk export them, and you can also revoke access at any time. So if there's someone who's no longer working there, or you just don't want them to have access anymore, you can go ahead and revoke the access from the cloud. And lastly, and this is specific to the cloud subscription service, we have an attendance management software available. With the attendance management software, you can add shifts, you can add holiday schedules, you can add specific shifts for each employee if they have different times they should be coming and going, and you can check the statistics of the attendance via the cloud subscription service. We currently also have a test server available. So if you would like to test the server out, see all the options that are available to you, see some sample records, you're more than welcome to do so. You can email us at info, that's INFO, @shopsupearior.com, and you can request a test server to be sent to you, so you can check out all those settings, and we're happy to give that. All right, thank you so much for joining. For future webinars, please go ahead and our scheduling page. It will be available in the description of this video. Thank you so much for choosing Supearior, and we hope we can be of help to you.